Lil Baby has been doing really well for himself in the music industry and has even gained himself a spot as one of the top trap artists out right now. Believe it or not, he has done a good job for himself when it comes to keeping his name away from controversy and political topics, which is not something that can be said for many celebrities of his caliber. However, he has found himself in the headlines for a few scandals in the past, some being worse than others, such as being caught cheating on his girl. Be sure to watch until the end of the video to hear about the caps and Lil Baby's raps. Cheating on Jada Cheeves. Lil Baby seems to have a hard time staying faithful, even going so far as to paying someone to spend some special time with him. The incident dates back to 2020 while Baby was dating Jada Cheeves, an Instagram model who has a major fan base. The two had been dating for around 4 years and were about to hit a major snag in their relationship. In late 2020, Lil Baby was outed by adult video star Miss London, who was claiming that the two had spent some quality time together at Baby's expense. London took to Twitter to talk about how Lil Baby allegedly paid her $6 grand for her to do the freaky things. Though she didn't name him directly, he did bring up Jada's name and said that Jada not leaving this man ever, on account of how good he was to her. Now, Lil Baby probably could have talked his way out of the public spotlight, but instead, he went the self-incriminating route. He took to Miss London's DM and began to argue with her. I guess he didn't think she would blow up his spot twice because he just straight up asked her, "What's the point of paying you if you do all that?" and went on to claim that she was bad for business. Well, Miss London did what we all, including Lil Baby, should have expected her to do. She screenshotted the exchange and posted it for the world to see. There was no hiding for Baby anymore. He really had no way to explain himself. All Jada had to say was that she was hurt by the situation, especially by all the messages she's gotten since the news of his adultery broke out. Choosing not to speak on controversy. Lil Baby has often kept his political opinions to himself, and has always tried his best not to speak on controversies, and a lot of fans are wondering why. Well, his answer is simple, but also has some people wondering what he's so worried about. Everyone in today's world knows what cancel culture is, and how it is forcing people to watch what they say in public. While some people think that cancel culture is ruining the entertainment industry, others believe that it's a good thing, because a lot of things that celebrities say are heard by millions of people. Therefore, offensive comments carry a lot more weight, especially with how strong the presence of social media is nowadays. Well, Lil Baby says that the reason that he doesn't really talk about his opinion is that he's afraid of cancel culture. But what surprised most fans and gained him a lot of backlash was when he says that the issues of the country are bigger than just one person who was murdered at the hands of police brutality. Whoa. This statement had people fuming at Lil Baby, mainly because people found the statement to be pretty ignorant. But also he was saying that he didn't like to make political statements or talk about his opinion, and followed it up with a really controversial statement. And it had everyone scratching their head, wondering, what was he thinking? Promoting drugs that he doesn't use. Now, I just want to make one thing clear before we get into this. Promoting the use of drugs should never be seen as okay. No one should support another person's bad habit. That being said, we all have our vices, and none of us have the right to judge someone, especially when we don't know why they might be going through or have gone through. At the end of the day, what anyone chooses to do is nobody's business other than their own. Alright, now with that out of the way, in hip-hop it always has been relatively normal to speak on drugs, whether it be talking about sipping lean or popping Molly. It's talked about everywhere, and it's become a socially normal thing to hear in music. But I think that also coincides with the fact that most people think that when an artist is constantly talking about using, it means that they actually do whatever they're talking about. This brings us to Lil Baby and the fact that quite a few of his fans are now upset with him for claiming that he doesn't do the things that he raps about in his tracks. In an interview, he mentioned that he's been rapping about drugs that he doesn't even take, and getting his listeners to do the drugs that he himself doesn't even do. He specifically mentioned Percocets and claimed that he raps about popping them, but in reality, it ain't even like that. This statement has certainly rubbed people the wrong way, and many weren't afraid to voice their opinion about the situation. They appear to be upset with the rapper for one of two reasons. The first one being the simple fact that it makes him seem like a liar or a fraud. If he isn't being honest about that part of his life with us, how many other bars of Lil Baby's are lies? And it's ultimately making some fans think that he might not be as tough as he tried to seem. The second reason is that there are a lot of younger listeners who hear these artists talk about how great these drugs are and how they help them feel better. And then what do? They turn to those same substances looking for the same reaction it supposedly gave the artist. It happens to the best of us, and there is no shame in looking for a vice to help you get through life. But to be promoting something that is potentially dangerous and highly addictive, saying how helpful it is, when you don't even use it for yourself to help you, That just doesn't seem right, and many fans were not cool with it. Final thoughts. There is no doubt in my mind that Lil Baby's music is going to be around for a long time. His fans love him despite his mistakes, and the industry seems to hold him in high regard as well. That being said, with his celebrity status, there is a good chance that he will be finding himself in the spotlight once more, hopefully for something positive though. However, we won't know until it happens. For now, be sure to subscribe to stay in tune with all of our hip-hop news and information. Be sure to hit that notification bell so that you don't miss our next upload. Until next time, stay safe out there.